And a very good day from the Sports Show. This is Emdad Rahman, your host here with LB24 TV. It's been a while since we've all connected online or whichever is your medium of choice. But I can assure you that we've got another quality program in store for you here today. And with me, without any further ado, are three cherished guests from within our community. What I will do is I will pay them the ultimate respect of introducing themselves to you here today before we commence with our interview and hopefully have a long and fruitful discussion and an inspirational one as well for everybody to take forward, to enjoy, to digest, and hopefully to implement in various aspects of our lives going forward. So without further ado, my three guests on the side here. Anfor Ali, can I start with you? Can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Emdad. Assalamu alaikum, viewers. My name is Anfor Ali. I'm the secretary of Bishwanath Sports Association.
And you, sir? Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, viewers. আমার নাম মোহাম্মদ Abdus Shahid. আমি as a business person.
Assalamu alaikum. আমার নাম মোহাম্মদ Akhtar. I'm a keen sports person and I am the secretary of Bishwanath Community Association.
Thank you very much and welcome everybody to the Sports Show. Now, I did say that this is going to be a quality program for us all, and I'm sure you'll make up your own minds after watching this as well. What I can guarantee is that we will have very good discussions, mainly based around sports as well. But there will be an added Bangladeshi element to our discussions here today. Now, as we all know, LB24 has a foundation which is based upon the Bangladeshi community. We do cover all manners of sports. We have had over the years many celebrated individuals and sports people from various disciplines and diverse sports who have come into the studio, some very, very celebrated people, some not so well-known people who have also come along. But I'm sure what you'll agree with me here is that every single guest that we have had within these studios has been nothing short of inspirational. Now, what I wanted to talk about today is Bishwanath. A lot of the viewers who will be watching the sport now will understand what I'm talking about when I refer to Bishwanath. It is a Thana, a celebrated Thana and a well-known and renowned Thana from our beloved Sylhet. I myself was born in the UK, brought up in the UK. My own experience of Bangladesh is less than 15 weeks, in almost 50 years. I'm actually 48 at the moment. But in total, in my whole life, I don't think I've spent more than 15 weeks in Bangladesh in total, and that's in segments. But why I mentioned Bishwanath, it is because of Thanas and upazilas and localities in Bangladesh like this, and the effort that had been put in by the elders of our community to enjoin and to also encourage our youth to remember where we've come from. Remember the saying that if you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you are heading towards. So whatever happens, I may be a British citizen, I was born in London, raised in Whitechapel my whole life, still live in East London, work in East London, volunteer in East London. But as you can see from my skin tone and my colour, it points to a heritage from elsewhere. So today we focus on Bishwanath, and I'll be asking my esteemed guests about some of the exciting and upcoming projects that are coming along from within the BCA and the BSA. I've been using these acronyms because I'm going to ask my guests to explain them. So what we are going to first and foremost focus on is Bishwanath is well renowned for football. In fact, in the UK we have an established football tournament which is not only celebrated in the UK, it takes place in Hackney in London, celebrated all over the UK, but is received and celebrated all over Europe and all over the world. In fact, hundreds of thousands of people actually watched the Upazila tournament because of the power of social media this year. Bishwanath have been champions 4 times. Let me repeat that again. Bishwanath have been champions 4 times, which merely points out that this is not an accident. There's been a lot of talent that has come through on the conveyor belt. But as we all know that you can have as much, you can have all the talent in the world, but if an organization does not have guidance and people working silently in the background, it means absolutely nothing. All the star players in the world, their efforts would come to nothing if there is not guidance from the elders and the silent volunteers in the background. So I'm going to turn to Anfor Bhai first and foremost, a very good brother of mine, older brother of mine, and a very good friend of mine as well. So I want you, I mentioned to our esteemed viewers, I mentioned to them BSA. Yes. Now, please give us an explanation, take as long as you need to explain what the BSA is and what your role is amongst that organization.
Okay. BSA stands for Bishwanath Sports Association, which was established back in 2015. This was purely formed to participate in the Upajila tournaments. Alhamdulillah, since then we have come so much forward, we progressed so much. So that's Bishwanath Sports Association. Bishwanath at this moment doesn't just focus on football, but the name itself, we want to live up to the name itself when you say association, so we want to combine other sports and other activities as well as just football. So what we so far we have done football is one of our main, of course, one of our main, I would say main talent of our organization. But with the same time, we have delivered two very successful competition. Last year we hosted the Inter-Bishwanath badminton tournament. That was very successful. We'll talk more about this today. This is what we are here for today. As well as cricket. Last year we were in partnership with one of the Bishwanath cricket club, played in the Bangladesh district. Yes. Tournament. So yes, this is what Bishwanath is all about. Bishwanath Sports is all about. Alhamdulillah, very, very fortunate to have a solid team of management working behind the scene to make it more successful. Yes, so today we are here to promote our Inter-Bishwanath badminton tournament, which will take place on the 10th of November next month. The venue is Robert Clark Leisure Centre in Dagenham. Inshallah, we done that last year, and it was, like I said, it was very successful. We hope to deliver another successful tournament this year. 24 teams are to be participated. Terms and conditions and the rules and regulation we will come to later. I'll have one of my colleagues who is this tournament is in partnership with BSA and BCA. Yes, so initiative from both organizations, and we delivered it last year, and we're looking really forward to this year as well.
Thank you very much. Bhai, question for you. So I made a big point of mentioning, for me it's very, very important to mention the real heroes in the background. People like yourselves who are contributing to an organization like this, which not only benefits Bishwanathis as well, but let's be really, really honest, is benefiting the wider community as well at the same time. I know you're focusing on Bishwanath, you're educating your own youngsters, you're talking about your heritage as well. Tell us about your passion in sports, because you're a hugely successful entrepreneur on many, many fronts. But you've always had an interest in grassroots support for organizations like this. Tell us about your passion for sports and what drives you to keep on supporting these.
Thank you, Emdad bhai. আজকে আপনি আমার এই স্টুডিওতে ইনভাইট করার লাগি প্রথমে ওইজন্য স্পোর্টস ওইজন্য নিয়ে আমার একটা প্যাশন, আমি স্পোর্টসে আমি খুব ভালো পাই। আর আমি যখন দেশে আসলাম আমি স্পোর্টসের লগে ওইজন্য খুব জড়িত আসলাম। আমি ব্যাডমিন্টনও খেলতাম, ফুটবলও খেলতাম, স্কুলও যেন আমরা ছোটোকালে ওইজন্য আমরা টুর্নামেন্টও হইতো, আমি প্রত্যেকটা টুর্নামেন্ট ওইজন্য নিয়ে আমি পার্টিসিপেট করতাম। সো আমার প্যাশন ফ্রম দেয়ার। যখন আমি দেশে আইলাম, দেশে আওয়ার পরে আমরা যখন আইসি আয়া আমরা এই বর্তমানে যে আমরা বর্তমান জেনারেশন যে সুযোগ সুবিধা পার, আমরা এই সুযোগ সুবিধা পাইছি না। তো আমার কাছে যখন আমরা আজকে যে পর্যায়ে আইছি, আমরা দেখলাম যে ওইজন্য নিয়ে আমরা যে জেনারেশন আইছে স্পোর্টস নিয়ে তারা কাম করা, আমরা যদি তারা একটু ইন্সপায়ার করতাম পারি, তা আমি নিজের কাছে ওইজন্য একটা ভালো লাগবো। তো লাস্ট ইয়ার যখন ওইজন্য আনফর ভাই এবং আখলাক ভাই এবং আমার বাগনা তাই ওইজন্য ইন্টার বিশ্বনাথ ব্যাডমিন্টন তারা একটা প্ল্যান করলা। তখন পয়লা মিটিংটা ওইজন্য নিয়ে আমার হেভেনলি ডিজার্ট আপনার ব্যাকটন গেলিয়ান স্ট্রিট ওখানেও তাই আইলা। আচ্ছা অন্য মিটিং স্টার্ট হইলা, বাদে ওইজন্য নিয়ে একটা কিলা কিতা করা, ওখান থেকে ওইজন্য নিয়ে আনফর ভাই তাই আমার কইলা যে হারুন ভাই এক কাজ করুক, আপনি আমরা ইন্টার বিশ্বনাথের ওইজন্য একটা স্পন্সার হরুকা আই এম রিয়েলি হ্যাপি যে আমি যদি এইরকম যে একটা অপরচুনিটি যেন পাইছি এটারে আমার হাত ছাড়া আমি করতাম চাইছি না আমি কইছি গো ফর ইট আনফর ভাই আমি যতটুকু পারি উচ্চনে আমার পক্ষ থেকে আমি আপনারা সাহায্য করবো তো এখন আমি একটু যেন হেভেনলি ডিজার্ট সম্বন্ধে আমি একটু আপনারা কইতাম যেহেতু হেভেনলি আমি আমার ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড রেস্টুরেন্ট থেকে আমি একজন বিজনেসম্যান ফ্রম রেস্টুরেন্ট হেভেনলি ডিজার্ট ইজ এ ডিফারেন্ট সাইড তো একটা ওই জন্য নিয়ে আমি না কইয়া পারলাম না যে তারা তিনজন মহিলা ওয়ান অফ একজন হইলা আমার ওয়াইফ তাই ওই জন্য এটা স্টার্ট করছেন আজ থেকে 5 বছর আগে প্রথম ব্রাঞ্চ রাশডেন লেক নর্থাম্পটনশায়ার অ্যান্ড হেভেনলি ডিজার্ট ইজ দ্য ফ্রাঞ্চাইজ দে লঞ্চিং 2008 হ্যাঁ তো তাই জনার এই পয়লা যখন করছেন রাশডেন লেক দে ওয়াজ ভেরি সাকসেস আলহামদুলিল্লাহ এরপরে আমরা সেকেন্ড ব্রাঞ্চ করছেন আপনার হেভেনলি ডিজার্ট বেকটন গেলিয়ান সুইচ ওকে তো ওখান থেকে বুঝছো নিয়ে আমি টানটান্ডে যে কইলাম যেহেতু রেস্টুরেন্ট আমার আউটসাইড সাফক আর এটা কমিউনিটি বেস হইল ইস্ট লন্ডন তো বেস্ট হইব জন্য আমি স্পন্সার করি আমার হেভেনলি ডিজার্ট থেকে হেভেনলি ডিজার্ট করলে হয়তো আমার কমিউনিটির মানুষে আমার জানবো আমি কমিউনিটির মানুষের লাগিয়ে কিচ্ছু করতাম পারবো ওখান থেকেও আমার আইডিয়া আইলো দেন আমি স্টার্ট করলাম লাস্ট ইয়ার করছি এই বছরও তারা যখন আইসেন আবার যখন আমার ফুল সাপোর্ট আছে আপনারা আগুয়ে দরকার তো আমার প্যাশনটা বুঝছো না যে আমি চাইলাম যে কমিউনিটিরে হেল্প করা ইয়াং জেনারেশন যারা আছে তারারে হেল্প করা তারারে মোটিভেশন করা
Amazing. I was recently abroad on a charity deployment, and what I can say in a light-hearted moment is I did have a dessert from hell whilst I was there. He laid me up for the whole weekend. I had a stomachache. So from Bay, it's very, very good to hear that we've got heavenly desserts in Newham, based in Galleons Reach. I will certainly be paying a visit there as well. And again, this is not an advertisement of his part, but because brothers like this, they actually put in more than they gain. So we always do like to provide an opportunity for mentions and to big up organizations and establishments like this that are spending so much of not only their money as well, but their time and effort. It's a lot more than just money as well, investing in to support the grassroots as well. So do please pay your good selves a visit when you go over there. Akhtar, by turning swiftly to you, obviously I know you through the football scene. You know what, you grew up playing a lot of your football down the Redbridge side, the Essex side as well. You've also played with a lot of celebrated footballers from within our footballing community in Tower Hamlets and this side of London as well. You had, I remember, I recollect, and I've got to mention it because this is a sports show, you had a fabulous, not 2024, 2023 over 50s year. He doesn't look as a single day over 25, but he was actually playing, he's actually over 50. But I remember you playing for, in the Sylhet district over 50s tournament last year, and you absolutely smashed up the field. Not only that as well, you scored that crucial equaliser when you headed the ball over the goalkeeper. You were jumping up like a spring chicken, like a 20-year-old, to equalise, which eventually led you to actually winning the tournament on penalties. That in itself, your results on that day reminded me of the Greece team in 2004 Euros when they, you know, or the Denmark team in 1992, where the Denmark team had not even qualified for Euro 92. But because of Yugoslavia, the war breaking out in Yugoslavia, on the Friday before the tournament, Yugoslavia were chucked out, sanctions. Yugoslavia were chucked out of the tournament, Anfor Ali. The Danish team, they were on the beach because it's pre-season. They were on holiday. They got a beach. They won their beach towels on the beach. They got a telephone call. Would you like to come in? Because there's a space free now. Yugoslavia. The Danish team came in on the Friday. The Saturday, they're playing. They only went on to win the tournament. You reminded me of that as well. Again, well done. Fantastic on that achievement. These things have to be mentioned because the sports show does celebrate the achievements of our people here as well. But what motivates you? You played two sports mainly. You play football and badminton. What's your motivation for being involved in both?
Thank you for that introduction. I think they're a bit overwhelming to say, you know, all that. No, it's just from a young age, you know, I mean, to be honest, you know, I came to this country when I was like 11 years old, and playing, you know, football in Bangladesh, as we all know, you know, there was not much to do. There's not television around. So all we did was play football. And I remember probably 1975, 76 or something like that, you know, my father bought first badminton racket for me. It was wooden. the 4 wooden, badminton rackets from Dhaka. And I used to set it up as soon as I came back from the mosque or school, we used to set it up in front of the house. And that's where I got my inspiration from. It was from my father, who actually bought me that racket, those wooden rackets, going back in the late 70s. I'm showing my age now, yeah? So, that's what inspired me. So when we came here in this country, there was no social media, this and that. So we were just always interested in playing football and badminton. And just going back to the over district cup, I only got a phone call on Saturday night from John Albay to say that one team pulled out, can we put in a team? So hence, we played a mixed up players from all different districts. And Ripon Bhai led the team. Hakim Bhai was there. We had 2 great leaders. And, I managed to score the goal, but I'm not the winner. I think we all won it. And it was one of the most proudest moments in a footballing, sporting career, I would say, because we were just put together on a Saturday night, and to go on a Sunday and Ripon Bhai managing the team and us winning it, it was probably one of the most sweetest feeling I've ever had in sports. That's the way. Yeah. So, alhamdulillah.
Thank you. Bhai, why is it so important so in the Bangladeshi community now, we've got, and I'm going to come on to Anfor Bhai after this, we've got at a soul now where we have suddenly decided to take the health of our senior brothers a lot more seriously. Hence, we've now got thriving over 50s badminton, over 50s football. Why is it important for us to remain active?
Right. Thank you. আমি কইতাম ওইব যে 50 যেমন আজকে আমরা যে এই যাইছে যদি আমরা খেলাধুলার মাঝে উচ্চনে আমরা সম্পৃক্ত রাখি, আমরা যে ফিটনেসটা আমরা থাকবো, আমরা যে অনেক সময় উচ্চনে আমরা হার্ট প্রবলেম মানুষের হয় বুঝছো না, আমরা যদি ব্যাডমিন্টন খেলি, জগিং করি, ফুটবল খেলি বুঝছো না, আমরা হার্টের এই প্রবলেম হইতো নাই। তো আমি মনে করি যে আমরা যারা এই বয়সে আইছি আমরা ইকটার লগে যদি জড়িত থাকি বুঝছো না, আমরা হেলথ ইমপ্রুভ হইব আর আমরা কমিউনিটির লগেও আমরা থাকলাম, আমরা ইয়াং জেনারেশন যারা ইরা বুঝছো না তারাও এটারে দীক্ষা বুঝছো না উৎসাহ হইলা।
Excellent. Anfor Bhai, sometimes I look at your schedule and it makes me dizzy because of the mashallah, may you have plenty more energy going forward, and may you have more and more opportunities to serve our community, because you're doing a sterling job and it needs to be said. And the reason why I'm not praising you for the sake of it as well, but we have viewers who will be watching this as well. Not only will they learn about you and what you're doing as well, but if one person gains inspiration from what you're about to share and from the questions that we asked, then this program is has been beyond a success. So you are very active. I'm using one of your hats at the moment now to talk about your role within the over 50s football setup, for example. So obviously, tell us about your involvement with Bishwanath in terms of your role within the organization, because it's been instrumental part, you've been an instrumental piece of the jigsaw. You will always say that there's a whole apparatus, there's a whole machinery operating, but you've been an instrument and you're the person who's here now. So I have to ask you, your role within that, which has contributed to such huge success, 4 wins in the Upazila tournament, but also the Silla district. So you need to answer 2 questions here about your role within the BCA and what you are doing to make an environment which is leading to a winning mentality, but also on the Silla district, which some people will say is a lesser thing, and we know it's not a lesser thing, because managing, and I managed the over 50s. Yes. Anfor Bhai was a player for me. Yes. when I was manager. Yes. The over 50s are the most difficult ones to manage, because you can't coach them, you can't teach them, you can't give them a lecture. In fact, they give the manager a lecture. You sit there, we'll play. I will give you the tactics, and then you can announce it as well. In 18, exactly. So tell us about your roles within these 2 things and what pushes you.
That by my role with Bishwanath BSA is I'm serving as the secretary. I think I mentioned this before. See, every team, the management behind the scenes is not visible sometimes, but they play very, very important roles, as we all know. We have such a unique management, Bishwanath behind the team of Bishwanath. Everybody plays an important part. So my job as the secretary and the chairman, our job is to have that leadership, correct leadership, that we manage the whole management team, and we deliver and we provide whatever is necessary for the team to progress further. We work very hard and we work together collectively to deliver this. I'm a very strong believer that one man show is never a successful. On my point of view, it's always you have to be collective. You all have to work together to deliver, and that works perfectly for Bishwanath right this moment. We are all collectively fulfilling our responsibility. I personally, whatever responsibility I take, either is Bishwanath or Sylhet district or the 50 active, I deliver to best of my ability, and that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me active. You mentioned that I do loads of not only just managing 3 organizations, big organization, but I do many other, involved with many other organization. For instance, I ran a mosque for 15 years. Sadly, 2 years back, that when I had my health issues, I just dropped off. But all that kept me going. Alhamdulillah, we mentioned the age of Akhtar here. I think he's have to be at least about 4 years junior than me.
Yeah.
So Alhamdulillah, all the age doesn't, but yes, it catches you up. Coming back to 50s active was he was formed by my seniors. People like Babul Bhai, Said Bhai, Tuna Bhai, Khalal Bhai. There's people like that, my senior brothers. It was formed to keep people active. When you reach the age of 50, we sometimes get lazy. People like myself, many others that footballer or a regular badminton player, we cannot play active, competitive games as such. So that organization was formed for these people. So you come out, you train a day, keep yourself healthy and fit. Remember, we just talked about, you asked one of my colleagues how important it is to keeping yourself fit and looking after yourself. That's part of ibadah as well. You have to. You cannot harm yourself and fall ill. And as for 50, we just give them that guidance. Alhamdulillah, 50 Active Club is doing very, very well. We're working on various projects right this moment. So it's not only just playing football. We're doing fishing, road trips, as well as we're recently, about 2-3 years now, we're doing the charity side. So we've taken this project, 50 active 50 homes project. Basically, we raise money through matches, and we build houses for the most needy people back in Bangladesh. So things like that. That's what keeps me active, and this is what keeps myself busy with the community, because my passion is to serve my community to best of my ability and whatever role I play. Bishwanath Sports Association, coming back to this again, is we have to say we're just not concentrating on just one sports. We want to আমরা Bishwanath না আমরা সারার দেশবাসী সকলের উনানি আপনার ইন্টারেস্ট সমান ইন্টারেস্ট নাই কেউ আমরা ফুটবলও বালা কেউ আমরা ক্যারমও বালা কেউ আমরা ব্যাডমিন্টন বালা অনেকেও দেখা যায় একটা স্পোর্টস লইয়া বইছেন বা আমরা একটা অর্গানাইজেশন হিসাবে আমরা চিন্তা করছি না আমরা একটা লইয়া বইলে হইতো না আমরা যারা ফুটবল প্রেমিক যারা বালা খেলায় এরা একটা সুযোগ পাইলো যে বাইনতে ধরে লোক অনেক সময় রেস্টুরেন্টে কাজ করেন তারা এই সুযোগ সুবিধা নাই তারা ইয়ত স্পেয়ার টাইম নাই এরা যাইতো কই তারা রেস্টুরেন্টে বইয়া বইয়া ক্যারাম খেলেন লেটস ডু আ ক্যারাম কম্পিটিশন সো গত 2 বছর Bishwanathকে ক্যারাম কম্পিটিশন দিছি 32 teams from all over UK participated and it was a huge success. দুইবার আমরা করছি and we done it in a prestigious venues. First one we done it in Impression, and second one we done it in Ark Royal. সো আমরা ভেন্যু হায়ার করিয়া আমরা কম্পিটিশন করে রাখছি এগেইন ও যে কইলাম আপনার ব্যাডমিন্টন আমরা করছি ও কারণেও যে অনেক দেখা যায় আমরা বিশ্বনাথর বিশেষ করে আমরা ইন্টার যখন করছি আমরা ওটা চিন্তা করে যে আমরা সারা ট্যালেন্টেড খুব ভালো ভালো প্লেয়ার যারা মানে খুব ব্যাডমিন্টন খেলেন এরার সব বিশ্বনাথের এখানেও কীরকম করা যায় তখন গিয়ে আমরা সারাই বইয়া হারুন ভাই গেছি আখতার আপনার আখলাক ভাই আজকে শো আওয়ার কথা আছে লাইতা পারছেন না আখলাক ভাইয়া আমরা কম্বাইন করিয়া আমরা আমরা চিন্তা করছি বলে না আমরা সকলের একটা সুযোগ করিয়া দেওয়া তখন গিয়ে আপনার উইন্টার ব্যাডমিন্টন আইছে ব্যাডমিন্টনের মাঝে তখন গিয়ে আমরা এটা প্রচার করছি সাইডের দিকে প্রচার করার পরে সাথে সাথে আমরা 24টা টিম হয়ে গেছে 24টা টিম হওয়ার পরে তখন আমরা গত বছর আমরা করছিলাম এটা ওপেন রেখে দিয়েছিলাম এটা ক্যাটাগরাইজার করছিলাম না এই বছর আমরা করছি ক্যাটাগরি ডি করছি কারণ দেখা যায় যে অনেকে যারা মানে রেগুলার ব্যাডমিন্টন প্লেয়ার এরাও ডি ক্যাটাগরিতে পড়েন তো তারালেও সুবিধা করিয়া আমি আরও একটা জিনিস আই থিঙ্ক ইস ওয়ার্থ অফ মেনশনিং আই ওয়ান্ট অ্যাপোলোজাইজ যে আমরা বিশ্বনাথর অনেক বাইয়ে হয়তো কিবা দুঃখিত হইবা যে আপনারা আলি ডি ক্যাটাগরি করলা আমরা এখানেও সি আসন আমরা এখানেও বি আসন ওকে আসন তো এইরকমের সুযোগ আমরা ইনশাল্লাহ ভবিষ্যতে করবো আমরা করিয়া দিমু এটা চিন্তা ভাবনা আমরা আছে আক্তার ভাই ওইটা টাচ করবা তো আমরা কত হইল গিয়া যে আমরা কমিউনিটি কিরা এঙ্গেজ করা কমিউনিটিরে কিলা এক করা এখানেও করা বাদ খাজ থেকে থাকা দূরেই থাকা কীরকম বাস খাম থেকে দূরে থাকা খোলা এখানেও থাকলে আমরা ওই জন্য মিঙ্গেলিং করি আমরা যে সোশ্যালাইজিং করি ওটু আমরা পাও না আর আমরা পিছনে যারা দেখরা আপনারা কাজ করেন এরার আসলে আমরা এখান থেকে আমরা একমাত্র বেনিফিট হইল গিয়া আমরা প্লেজার পাই ওটা থেকে যে আমরা সকলরে করিয়া জেনে সকলের মুখে যে আসি ফুটাইতাম পারি বা সকলে যে একটা এনজয়মেন্ট করেন ওটু আমরা পাও না ওখান আইদার ইস বিশ্বনাথ আইদার ইস 50 আর সিলেট ডিস্ট্রিক্টও আপনি জানোই সিলেট ইউ জাস্ট মেনশন ডি সিলেট ডিস্ট্রিক্টে অনেক কইবা যে অত কাজ নাই আসলে দের ইজ খাম আছে আপনার অনেক সারা বছর এগুর পিছনে কাজ করা লাগে কমিটিরে আপনারা অনেক সময় হয়তো দেখুন না আপনার মেজারে দেখুন কমিটি কিন্তু যেমন আমি সেক্রেটারি হিসাবে সেফরাম সরওয়ার আলম আপনার চেয়ারম্যান হিসাবে সেফরা আমরা জব আস্থা বছর থাকে প্লেয়ার কিলা এরকম করা আপনার এই যে আপনি এই অ্যাক্টিভিটিস করতে হইলে ফান্ডিং করতে গিয়ে সারা জো দিয়ে আপনি ইউ ম্যানেজ ডু ইউর সেলফ আপনি জানেন এরকম অনেক জো আছে কাজ আছে যেটা আমরা করি কিন্তু আমরা করি কীরকম ওই জন্য জনগণ থেকে যেরকম আপনার ব্যাকআপ পাই ওটাই আমরা আপনার উৎসাহ করতে গিয়া আরও বেশি
Why is it important to work with the young people on these projects?
আমার ইন্টারেস্ট হইল যে ইয়াং পিপুল আমি আমার সাথে গিয়ে কইতাম যে আমার যে প্যাশন হইতো না ফুটবলের মাঝে বা ব্যাডমিন্টনের মাঝে বা স্পোর্টসের মাঝে আমরা এই দেশ ইয়া এই সুযোগ সুবিধা আমরা পাইছি না ওই জন্য না পাওয়াতে ওই জন্য যেহেতু আমরা আজকে এই সুযোগ সুবিধা ওই জন্য আমরা দিতাম পারলাম যার কারণে ওই জন্য আমি এই সুযোগটা আচ্ছা করতাম চাইলাম না যেহেতু আমার কাছে একটা সুযোগ আইছে যার কারণে আমি মনে করি যে আমরা যে কমিউনিটির যারা ইয়াং যারা আছে এরা যদি আমরা কোনো একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম করে দিতাম পারি তারা একটা আমাদের উৎসাহ হইব আর তারা একটা কারিগর হইয়া বুঝছে না তারা কন্টিনিউ তারা করবা এটার মাঝে আমি খুব এনজয় করি
Yes.
আমার হারুন ভাই আসলে নিজের প্রশংসা নানি আপনার অনেক সময় আছে আপনার প্রশংসা আপনি অনেক ধরনের আছে প্রশংসা আপনার মানুষের করা লাগে এক সময় ও কারণে করা লাগে সে মানুষ উৎসাহ এবার তো কাউ জন্য হারুন ভাই কইছেন যে তাই এটা থাকি নিজে নিজে আনন্দ পাইন একটা আপনার যে কোনো ধরনের একটা ইভেন্ট করতে গেলে আপনার যে ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল যে সাপোর্ট ছাড়া আপনার করা ইটস নট পসিবল আর আজকালকেও জানেন আপনার ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল সাপোর্টটাও ইয়োকে ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট হলে হারুন ভাই যে আমরা আপনার শুধু ফাইন্যান্সিয়াল সাপোর্ট নাই তাই নিজে ব্যক্তিগতভাবে যে সাপোর্টটা দিন কমিউনিটির সার্ভিস করার লাগিয়া সকলের এখানে করার লাগিয়া আনন্দ দেওয়ার লাগিয়া এটা আসলে কিছু প্রশংসার দাবিদার আসলে তাই শুধু টাকা পয়সা দিয়া নাই আপনার বন্ধুত্ব আমরা এক রকমের একটা রিলেশনশিপ আছে বাই ফ্রেন্ড আমরা কিন্তু আপনার তানোর যে লাভ অ্যান্ড প্যাশন ফর দ্য কমিউনিটি সুবহানাল্লাহ আসলে প্রশংসার দাবিদার আসলে
It's an asset in more ways than one.
Yeah, definitely.
Akhtar bhai, so Anfor bhai mentioned about category D. So we have all manners of people with limited knowledge, full knowledge, different forms of knowledge when it comes to sports. If you can explain to the viewers briefly what the categories are, firstly. So,
First of all, I mean, let me just, before I answer your question,
Yes, of
let me
course.
just go a little bit back,
Yes.
backward. What it is, like Amrar, BCA is basically, it was set up by Akhlaq Mama, as you all know, Akhlaq Rahman, yeah? Is Bishwanath Community Association.
Yes.
So it was formed by Akhlaq Mama, who is not here. It's a combination of doing a lot of charity work, mainly in Bangladesh. So we do a lot of, like during the flood, we raise money for the local people in Bishwanath. We do food banks during Ramadan, like iftar packs done in Bangladesh locally. Small amount, because it's done through, it was set up by Akhlaq Mama, Harun Mama here, and myself. There's only 3 of us who are involved in that organization. So, and we're also into sports, where we have won quite a few tournaments. Mama invited us to Northampton. I took, players like Sadiq and, a lot of other players from here. We won tournaments over there with Mama's passion and support. We also had desserts after the game in his place. Heavenly desserts in Northampton. Yes. Mama invited all of us. We went and played in Northampton University. And let me just give you one example. What we did was we took all these young players, yeah, Rakib, Ijaz and Shuaib, Sadiq. The feedback we got back from them, the hospitality that the Mama created for us in Northampton University, all the players that came back and they felt like Premier League players. Mm-hmm. Because what they did was they recorded the whole games in the university campus on the main hall. They replayed back all the games and highlights, 5-star meal, yes, everything. Everybody came back, even though it's a long journey to Northampton coming back, everybody came back. They felt like, they were superstars. Mm-hmm. That treatment was done by Mama and his friends, alhamdulillah. Now, going back to badminton, what it is, the last couple of years, Koesbai is not here from BSA. Koesbai and Harun Mama has been after me because I play badminton from a young age and I play in the Essex League. I play in Barking Badminton Club.
They catch up with you?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Watching you on the football pitch, they're after you, but did they catch up with you?
They will. So, because I've been playing badminton throughout, all along, Koesbai and Harun Mama said, you're into badminton, we're into football, why don't you do it with Anfor Ali? Yes. They kept pushing me. And Mama was always supportive. He said, Bagna, go ahead, do the badminton, I will support you in whatever I can, where I can. So that's how the badminton started. Last year Anfor Ali said, 24 teams came. We had players from Northampton, Birmingham, Leicester, Bournemouth, Luton, Norwich, Heathrow, Bedford.
Basically all over UK.
And the 2 players that won it, Akhtar Bhai and Mumin Bhai, they came from Oldham. They came the previous night, stayed in a hotel, they played, they won.
Won the trophy and went back.
They went back. Yeah. They went back. So that's how, in space of 4 or 5 weeks of posting out our invitation, we had players from all parts of the UK. And last year we did it as an open tournament. So we didn't do it with any category. The whole idea of it was just to get the Bishwanathi brothers together to play in a tournament. So we get to know we know in football scene who plays football. We didn't know exactly who is where playing badminton. So we got all of them together. We done it as an open tournament. It was a bit unfair in some ways, but we had amazing semi-finals and finals. Everybody enjoyed it. So this year we've gone to category, which is majority of the good players are in category. There's very few categories C and B, only the top end. So that's the reason why we've done, to get more players involved, we've done category D this year. But inshallah next year, there's bigger plans as well. Definitely. Inshallah.
Before we move on to the next question, so if I remember correctly, you and Amin Khan recently won a tournament, am I right in saying?
This was actually just on Saturday night.
Okay, so that was quite inspirational. Would you like to care to share this with our viewers?
Well, it was arranged by Shamim Bhai. He's a very renowned top badminton player for 2-3 decades. Yeah, so it was him and Khaled. They arranged it. It's a Tower Hamlets Badminton Club merged with Magpie, which we play in Usmani Primary School on Saturday nights. There was a category A and B and a category in C and D. And me and my close friend Amin Bhai, we won the tournament on Saturday, alhamdulillah.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Bhai, why is it important for more celebrated businessmen like you? Because the Bangladeshi community has many wealthy people. This is not a criticism, by the way, but not everybody is interested in investing in young people or even old people with the 50 plus, for example, by investing in sports-related projects because they don't see the immediate benefits. Why is it important for more people like you to come forward?
Thank you, Emdad bhai. খুব সুন্দর কোয়েশ্চন ভালো লাগে। আমি মনে করি উচ্চনানি যারা আমরা বাংলাদেশ কমিউনিটি বিজনেসম্যান যারা আছেন হয়তো কোনোখানো বা তারা কররা হয়তো আমরা জানলাম না উচ্চনানি আমিও তারারে কইতাম চাইমু উচ্চনে যে তারা বারোইয়া হোকা উচ্চনানি হয়তো বিহাইন্ডে কররা যদি তারা বারোইয়া আইন তার ই খামরে দিকে আরও মানুষ ইন্সপায়ার্ড হইব। তো আমার উচ্চনানি প্রথমত থাকবো যে যারা বাংলাদেশি কমিউনিটি বিজনেসম্যান আছেন যারা ওয়েলথি আছেন যে আমরা বর্তমান যে কমিউনিটিরে উচ্চনানি ইয়া তারা সাহায্য করুকা সামনে আউকা তারা ইন্সপায়ার্ড করুকা। আর আমি ইম্পর্টেন্ট মনে করি যেহেতু জিজ্ঞাসা করছেন যে আমি এখানে ইম্পর্টেন্ট মনে করি আমি একটা কথা সবসময় কই যে আমি যখন উচ্চনানি যে জিনিস পাইছি না আর আমি এখন দেখলাম উচ্চনানি যে জিনিসটা আমি করতাম পারলাম এখন যে আগে যেতাম পারলাম সহযোগিতা করতাম পারলাম উচ্চনানি আমি একটা আমার ইম্পর্টেন্ট মনে করি উচ্চনানি আরেকটা আমি খুবই প্যাশন আর কমিউনিটির লোকে উচ্চনানি কাম করতে আমার খুব ভালো লাগে। আমার রেস্টুরেন্ট আপনার সাফক উচ্চনানি আমি ইংলিশ কমিউনিটির লোকে আমি কাম করি। তো এখন কিছু হইতাম হইব যেহেতু কমিউনিটির লোকে কাম করতে হইলে উচ্চনানি যে আমি এনজয় করি যেমন ইয়াং যারা যেমন আপনারা এ লেভেল রেজাল্ট বার হয় জিসিসি রেজাল্ট বার হয় তো হঠাৎ করে উচ্চনানি আমার মাইন্ডের মাঝে আইলো আমার কিং এডওয়ার্ড স্কুল উচ্চনানি গ্রামার স্কুল আপনার সাফক বেরিসারের মঞ্চ তো যে হেড টিচারের লোকে ইস মাই ভেরি রেগুলার কাস্টমার। তো আমার আইডিয়া আইলো যে যখন এ লেভেল রেজাল্ট বার হয় বা জিসিসি রেজাল্ট বার হয় বাচ্চারা তারা সেলিব্রেশন করে গিয়া রেস্টুরেন্ট গিয়া খায় তো আমি এখানে পারি না বুঝলাম যে ফর ওয়ান ডে এরারে যারা রেজাল্ট করবো যারা রেজাল্টও বালা করে বাদ করে এভরি ওয়ান বুঝলাম নিয়ে লাঞ্চও আমি তারা ইনভাইট করি। হ্যাঁ তো ও আইডিয়া করে বুঝলাম আপনার হেড টিচারের লাগে মাতলাম মাতার বাদে বুঝলাম ইটস ভেরি গুড আইডিয়া। তো আই এম টকিং অ্যাবাউট 2015 2015 তখন আমি স্টার্ট করি বেরিসার অ্যান্ড মন্স কিং এডওয়ার্ড স্কুলে এ লেভেল রেজাল্টও আমি অল স্টুডেন্টে আমি ইনভাইট করি আমার রেস্টুরেন্টও তারা ইয়া ফ্রি মিল সেলিব্রেশন করে। তো এখান থেকে আমি একটা বেনিফিট আমি ওটা পাই এই জন্য আপনার 200-300 স্টুডেন্ট তারা আয় এই 200-300 স্টুডেন্টের উচ্চনানি প্যারেন্টসও হল তারা খুব ইমপ্রেস আমার মনে করে তারা করে যে এইরকম একটা জিনিস তারা করছে এরা কিন্তু আমার রেগুলার কাস্টমার রয় তখন আমার একটা বেনিফিট কিন্তু বিহাইন্ডে আমার একটা বেনিফিট ওর আমি যেন বেনিফিট পাইলাম না ইজ নট লাইক দ্যাট বাট আমি আমার কমিউনিটির যেন একটা সাপোর্ট করতাম পারলাম ওটা হইল আমার প্যাশন বুঝনানি। তো ওইটা লাগে আমি খুব একটা প্রশংসা বুঝনানি আমি বেরিসার অনুষ্ঠানের মাঝে আমি পাইছি কমিউনিটির মাঝে। আরও আপনার চ্যারিটি ওয়ার্ক আমি প্রত্যেক বছর আমি একটা দুইটা চ্যারিটি ওয়ার্ক করি।
On that basis, there's a very interesting story in terms of your charity work. I think it's your masjid in Bangladesh, which is 150 years old. There's a very interesting story about how you restored it. Can you tell us about that?
Right. Back 2002 আমি যখন বাংলাদেশে গেলাম যাওয়ার পরে আমার যে একটা গ্রাম্য মসজিদ বুঝনানি আমার পূর্বপুরুষ তারা করিয়া তুইয়া গেছেন এটা অনেক আমার মনে হয় 150 ইয়ার্স এরকম এটার বয়স হইব। তো এটার অবস্থা দেখলাম বুঝানো যে সিলিং যদি পানি পড়ে কোন সময় সিলিং ভাঙ্গা পড়ে দিব এটার লাগে কেউ কোনো ধরনের গ্রামর যারা আছে এরা কোনো উদ্যোগ নিরা না। তখন আমার লগে আরও কয়েকজন আমার গ্রামর উচ্চনানি বিদেশি তারা গেছেন তো তারা লইয়া আমরা একটা মিটিং করলাম কইরা বললাম যে বর্তমানে যদি উচ্চনানি আমরা যদি এই মসজিদটারে খুঁজিয়া যাইতাম না পারি তা আমরা পরে যে আমরা যে বাচ্চা কাচ্চারা আছে উচ্চনানি এরা বাংলাদেশের গিয়া এগুলা করবো করি আমরা কাছে একটা ডাউট লাগে তো আমরা এখানে একটা ইনিশিয়েটিভ নিয়া ও মসজিদটারে আমরা করি। তখন আমরা গ্রামের হলে বই আবার লন্ডন থেকে যারা গেছেন আমরা একটা বাজেট করলাম যে 50 থেকে 60 লাখ টাকার একটা বাজেট করলাম যে আমরা তো ছোটো গ্রাম তো ওইরকম করি। তখন আমরা যখন মসজিদ স্টার্ট করলাম তখন তো আমরা তো একটা জো আছেন যে একটা থেকে একটা সুন্দর করি খার থেকে তো ও সুন্দর করাতে গিয়া বুঝছেন আলহামদুলিল্লাহ আমরা বর্তমানে 1 কোটি 10 লক্ষ টাকা বুঝছেন আমরা খরচ করে লিছি কিন্তু আমার বাজেট ছিল আপনার 50,000 টাকা 50 লাখ টাকা কিন্তু এই পয়সা শেষ পর্যন্ত হইতা কি আইছে আমরা নিজেও হইতাম পারলাম না বুঝছো না যে মানুষে এত খুশি হইয়া বুঝছো না মানুষে চ্যারিটি দিছে যে মসজিদ দিছে বুঝছো না তো আমি এটা লাগে বুঝছো না আমি খুব প্রাউড ফিল করি যে আমার গ্রামও একটা ইনিশিয়েটিভ নিয়ে যেন আমি একটা জিনিস কইরা তুই যাইতে পারছি হয়তো আজ থেকে 150 বছর আগে যারা কইরা তুই গেছেন আমরা তারা কথা আজকে মাত্রাম মেবি আমরা আজকে কইরা দিলাম আমরা আজ থেকে 50-60 বছর বাদে তারাও আমরা কথা মাতবো বুঝছো না এটা থেকে আমি খুব ইন্সপায়ার্ড যে আমি একটা জিনিস কইরা যাইতাম পারছি আমার গ্রামের মসজিদের লাগে
So you got there an astute businessman, not only an astute and a successful businessman, but also one who is greatly legacy driven. I think the wise amongst us are those who are always thinking about legacy, not in terms of their own personal legacy, but what Bai just mentioned here as well. In terms of leaving behind something tangible, leaving behind something which resonates with the people long after they have left this planet, where people will continue to benefit, people will continue to sit in the shade of, to be able to pray, to seek sanctuary from within there. And again, that kind of foresight can only pay dividends, not only for them, but the community themselves. Going back to Anfor Bhai, let's show people we've got a heart. It's not all about old men 50 plus, and it's not all about veterans 35 plus. I want to concentrate a little bit about the youth, using Bishwanath and some of the exciting plans that you've got in progress here. I'm going to make it a little bit difficult for you. I want you to talk about your own son as a case example, because I know this as a case study very, very well. So in terms of engaging the youth at the moment, in 2025, we've got exciting plans to have an Upazila tournament, for example, an open age one. But until now, we've had a situation where our youngsters have been biting our ankles. Please, please, why do we have to wait until 35 to play for Bishwanath, for Biani Bazaar, etc., etc.? Now we've got an open age tournament coming up in 2025. But I know for a fact your son, I remember him years ago watching him train with the Bishwanath squad. So he was turning up like a player, he was preparing like a player, he was and then if somebody didn't look at his youthful face and said, oh, Lord, he actually looks underage, they would have thought he was part of the squad simply because of his dedication and his pure happiness to win. He's in awe of playing amongst his senior players as well. Tell us a little bit about this, Anfor Bhai.
Well, talking about the youth team, Emdad Bhai, yes, last year, one of Bangladesh Sports Network, they announced Bangladesh District Open Age Football Tournament. But even before that, we as PSA management thought about the young kids, our youth. This is why since about 7 years now, I think this year was 7 or 8 years, Bishwanath, we do what we call an inter-Bishwanath tournament, football tournament. That gives opportunity for the young open age players to play with the veterans. So we have around about 12 teams, again, all from all over the UK, all Bishwanathis coming together, play in this tournament. And the youngsters, so it's basically 4 veteran and 4 open age players. And that closes the bridge, the gap between our older generation player and the young players. We've been doing that since for the 7-8 years now. That's been very successful. We always very, very thoughtful of making a open age team for Bishwanath, and we are. I think we were the first team to announce that we have a Bishwanath open age team youngster players. Last year we already had get together, things like that. We got 18 players, just purely and very, very talented young players from Bishwanath. It makes me feel proud to say I'm really looking forward to this open age tournament, which was announced by Shunali Otit, which will take place. I've been told end of May or beginning of June next year. I'm really looking forward to this because as for Bishwanath youth team, alhamdulillah, I think we're going to go. We're going to progress more than our veteran team.
The seniors.
Yes, they are
scary. That's scary.
And they're not. When I say serious, they are very talented. We mentioned a couple of names just before. I mean, Sadiq is reaching up to 30 or 30 now. now. But these players we're talking about, some of the play for Harlow League and things like that, they're all very, very talented young players. Yes, we've already been working on it for the last 3-4 years, and the team is set up, just waiting for the big match day for us to announce the team. Yes, we're already working on this. We're already on top of this.
Akhtar, are you looking to push yourself into the open age team? What are your thoughts? Are you working towards it? Are you training? Do you have hopes of breaking into this open age team?
I'll tell you what. I'll do the famous quote for you, and you don't stop playing because you're old. You grow old when you stop playing.
100%.
So, Anfor Ali touched on all the young people. I would say it's not about football, badminton, or cycling, and this and that. I do a lot of hiking. I've climbed all the tallest mountains in this country. What it is, it's regardless of your age, even just going around the block for a little jog, it keeps you healthy, keeps your mind fresh. That's the idea. It's not about football and badminton and carom board. It's about any sports. Whatever your ability is, do it regularly. Even if it's a small amount of jogging after Fajr or coming back from work, it's any sports. So, we as sports people, we encourage people to do any kind of sports, whatever you enjoy, cycling, swimming, but do it on a regular basis. That's my motto. That's the way I do it. So, alhamdulillah.
Last question for you, Akhtar bhai. One last message for you before your tournament kicks off.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody's very excited about participation.
This Inter-Bishwanath tournament, badminton tournament that we're doing this year, alhamdulillah, I've got loads of interest. I've got loads of players already registered. And I would say all the players around, not just, Tower Hamlets and Redbridge, from all over the country, register your names with me and Anfor Ali. All the posters are on social media. Look at all the badminton groups. Quickly contact us. It's 24 teams going, Anfor Ali said earlier, 24 teams. And then we go through the knockout phases. So inshallah, we hope to deliver a fantastic tournament, a success from last year with help from, Harun Mama here from Heavenly Desserts in Galleon's Reach. And we got BSA, BCA working really hard in the background to deliver this tournament, inshallah. November the 10th, Sunday, in Robert Clark School in Dagenham.
And one message of encouragement and a final message from you to everybody who's going to take part in the tournament.
আমি আমার মেসেজ আজকে LB24 ওর দর্শকর প্রতি যারা এই শো দেখা লাইভ আপনারা 10 তারিখ ব্যাডমিন্টন দেখার লাগে আউকা যারা উচনানি বিশ্বনাথর উচনানি যারা পার্টিসিপেট এখনো করছেন না বা এন্টার করছেন না তারা এরকম যে তো তাড়াতাড়ি করে উচনানি আমরা এন্টার করুকা আর স্পেশালি আজকে আমরা এখানে আখলাক ভাই সম্বন্ধে আমি দুইটা কথা কইতাম চাইলাম আমরা তাদের মিস করলাম হি ইজ দ্য মেইন পার্সন ওইজনানি BCA এবং BCA অ্যান্ড BSA ইন্টার ব্যাডমিন্টন তো তাই অ্যাপোলজি করছেন তার কোনো বিশেষ কারণ হলে তাই যেতে পারছেন না তো আমি ধন্যবাদ জানাই যে আখলাক ভাই এত হার্ড ওয়ার্কিং মানুষ তাই যদি কোনো কমিটমেন্ট খেয়ে দেন এটা 100% তাই করুন আর আনফর ভাই আমার বাগনা আখলাক ভাই উচনানি তারা যেখানে উচনানি খাজো যায় এটা আমার শতভাগ ওইজন্য বিশ্বাস যে তারা একটা সাকসেস করবা যার কারণে ওইজন্য তারা লগে আমার কাম করতে ওইজন্য আমি খুব ভালো পাই আর আমার একটা ট্রাস্ট থাকে আর সেকেন্ড মেসেজ ওইজন্য যেহেতু আজকে আমি ইন্টার বিশ্বনাথে মেইন স্পন্সার হিসাবে আমি আইসি কেন রিপ্রেজেন্ট করার আমি হেভেনলি ডিজার্ট সম্বন্ধে তুলা করতে হয় যেহেতু আমার কমিউনিটির আমার হেল্পর দরকার গেলিয়ন্স রিচ বেকটন শপিং পার্ক আপনারা আউকা যারা উচনা আপনারা LB24 দর্শকের প্রতি করে আপনারা আউকা আমার সাপোর্ট করুকা আর ইনশাআল্লাহ আমিও যতটুকু পারি আমি আমার কমিউনিটির উচনা নিয়ে আমার সাধ্যমতো যতটুকু পারি আমি আমার হেল্প করবো ধন্যবাদ
On this note, it's very important to mention, and I touched on it before, when we've got generous entrepreneurs who, without any hesitation, support community projects, the least, and this is a community channel, so I have no issues. I'm not getting paid by Heavenly Desserts to promote them here as well. But I and the guests who are included here, we do have that responsibility to point out the fact that many of our entrepreneurs, like Bahia and Heavenly Desserts, they often invest and pump in hundreds and thousands of pounds of their hard-earned money into community projects like this, into sports activities, simply to engage the community and to help the youngsters. And very rarely do they do it for any personal gain. Having said that, I strongly believe that we as a community also have a responsibility to support them. It's not only about taking, they will continue to give because they have large pockets and they have even larger hearts as well. But as a minimum, our community should be supporting these brothers, elders, these entrepreneurs, whether they're male or female, by visiting their establishments, by talking about them, by recommending them to families and friends, to colleagues. A lot of us are professionals as well. If we're going out for a team building day, if you're going out for a dinner in the evening, do recommend these people, because you know what, their risk is assured, but the minimum that we should be doing in terms of this is also saying thank you to them by also recommending them to people that we know as well. And for Bai, come, yes.
Thank you, Emdad Bai. I'm just going to touch on the same topic again. Just Heavenly Dessert. We're all talking about dessert. Actually, Heavenly Dessert, Galleon Rich branch is not doing just dessert. They're doing brunch as well. Yes. They introduced a new menu. So if you haven't been there yet, I recommend everybody to go there, try the new menu. Well, I had the opportunity. I was there to launch the food, and actually, listen, I'm a food critic, so I'm telling you, it's bang on. It's bang on.
So on that note, Anfor Bai, breakfast is on you.
Anytime.
Live on TV, breakfast is on Anfor Bai.
Anytime.
Next time.
Anytime.
We are going to visit very, very soon, Akhtar Bai.
Inshallah.
We are going to visit soon. Last question for you. It's a two-pronged one, which is one I neglected to mention earlier. The first part of your last question is, so me as a sporting coach, I'm looking at this Bishwanath team. And obviously, even in my sports reports, I've categorically written, that it's the greatest oppositor team that we've had. It's very difficult to see at the moment somebody who's going to put a run together like the Bishwanath team now to break that record. We were all full of admiration for Osmani Nagar, two winners, 2 wins, 2 losses in 2 final losses as well. And even then we were thinking it's going to be very, very difficult to break that record. Bishwanath has comfortably broken that record. We know things come in cycle. So even though that you've got a great team, eventually what will happen is this team will be replaced by players. They may not match those standards. Other teams will increase it. But number one is, with this open age tournament coming up, do you think that it automatically raises the aspiration of the younger players, simply knowing that they've got even veterans amongst them who are so good that they could still make this?
100%.
So the bar is very high, isn't it?
The bar is set very high. You mentioned my son Ikram earlier.
Yes.
Ikram been training with the actual Bishwanath squad for the last 3 years, and the boys love him because he's a very competitive player. He plays Monday Super League, and he plays for the Winter League frontline team. So but every time he goes to training, he comes back and tells me, Baba, that team is solid. Yeah. Now, you got the Premiership and you got the semi-pros, all the semi-pros playing on Sunday Super 7 in Stepney. This is where my son plays. For him to come back and tell me, Baba, I play in Super 7, and the game is like up and down, full 40 minutes. But when I train with these boys, I learn so much. So that tells you the quality that we have within our Bishwanath squad. I think I'll mention it, I'll say this. A lot of people from outside Emdad Bai say like, oh, Bishwanath is blessed with so many talented players. Yes, no doubt. We are fortunate to have talented players. But the more talented and more celebrity players that you have, the good players that you need a big, a personality. You need someone even better to mentor them, to get them as a team and play as a team. And our coach, Miah, he's doing a wonderful job. The team management, and how he wants the players to play. He has his own way of doing this, and it's not easy. Like I said, many will say, oh, with that squad, anyone can't manage it. Absolutely not. I don't believe in that.
There's a good story on that, Anfor Bhai. I was having a little joke with Khalis recently. So in my Facebook memories, a picture came up. So the second year of the Upazila tournament, and Bielizar played Bishwanath in a friendly. And it just goes to show how much Bishwanath. So in the friendly, we won 4-0.
Yes.
We had a group picture. Do you remember that? I remember that group picture we did, because I was very keen on the brotherhood side of things, and we had a group picture. And I didn't know Khalis, so just standing random next to someone. So last week that picture came up in my memory. I was looking at the picture. I thought it was Khalis, so I sent Khalis a message saying, "Do you know what? I was standing next to greatness." Even then, I knew that you're going to win. You're going to win 4, and I'm going to go to 3 semi-finals. So I said, between us, we done okay. 3 semi-finals and 4 wins over there. We're having a good laugh and joke. So you never know. You never know. What Allah has in plan for anyone.
No, like you said, a friendly training match. We lost 4-0 with the Beni Baja.
Yeah.
We lost with teams like Dokkan Shurma.
Yes.
This time on training.
Yes.
And I had few people head on. You sure that's your squad? I said yes.
That's it. It's
I
the
said
end of Bishwanath.
yeah, and I said, says you sure they just scored 4 goals past you?
Yeah.
I said, mate, that's our squad.
Yes,
You sure? He said that's our squad. But when it comes to a proper tournament, Bishwanath knows how to play.
They know how to win.
They know how to
They know how
conquer.
to win.
And that takes, I want to say a massive thank you to our management team. Let's not naming everyone. Everyone who puts the shift, very, very hard work in everybody's. And the beauty is we all work together. We don't do this Mam Wagner business. You have to have that quality to play for Bishwanath. You have to match up. And that's what we as Bishwanath is, our seniors done this years and years. See, Upajila just finished. We'll already start preparing our team for next year. Now, we're not shy to go out of London. We go out of London. We do friendly cups to recruit players. And this is how we progress. And we have, the squad that we have, inshallah, our hope is, we got it for next few years. But Allah knows better. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very competitive. Every team is... look at the Raidu, look at Usmani. Everybody's coming up very, very strong. And we like that. We don't undermine anyone. But on the day, we promise everyone we will deliver to our best ability. On the day, maybe the best team going to win. But we're going to give everything we have. And again, massive thank you to the management and massive thank you to the players. The players, the way they bond with each other, their respect, mutual respect they have. You missed out. I really missed you on our celebration awards night. The praise, the love, and respect they have for each the players for each others is something to be proud of. Something to be proud of. These two brothers will vouch it. Every player who came on the stage, they praised not themselves, but the player they've been playing with. And this is our motivation. This is what makes Bishwanath stronger. And this is what Bishwanath is all about. We're very thankful to everybody, supporters again. And don't forget the people who makes this happen, people like our sponsors.
Of course.
So either it's the football, who sponsored us, when it comes to badminton, when it comes to carom, when it comes to the open age, and the love and respect that we... See, this is another one. Bishwanath Sports Association is a huge name. It's a household name within our sporting community right this moment. But what we intend to do is we want to work in partnership with others as well, like we're doing the BCA. We're working together, a unique partnership, and delivering different projects. And this is what, this is what makes us strong. This is what makes us,
I can just come for 1 second.
Yes.
And Emdad, just for 1 second. Because our football is renowned now, everybody knows about our football. And the whole idea of doing our badminton is to create the same kind of, same kind of buzz and same kind of interest, gathering players from all over, seeking all the players for badminton as well, because we know traditionally Bangladeshi people, they love playing badminton. So that's why we want to create a strong getting to know all the brothers in the badminton community, bring them together. That's the whole purpose of our Bishwanath tournament. So that's why we're just keeping it amongst Bishwanathi brothers. So that's the whole idea, inshallah. On the 10th of November, we hope to deliver that.
The community there. Thank you.
Our aim is to stay together. The togetherness and the brotherhood is more important, as well as, all the other sports. And this is what brings us together, the sports and the whole community. And inshallah, we will deliver together, collectively.
There you have it. I did say I was going to have some inspirational guests with me here today. We've learned a few lessons. Firstly, through watching the Upazila Cup final this year, one lesson I learned, which we're aware of, but from a coaching point of view, I look at things a little bit differently from the average fan, and most managers and coaches will appreciate what I'm about to say. So I watched the final, and maybe my guests will disagree. I felt during that final, Osmani Nagar had the upper hand in terms of the play on the pitch. But what that game taught us is winning is a completely different mindset. And a champion team will not necessarily play their best football, but they will grind out the results simply because of their mindset. So I watched the game and I thought to myself, judging on the base of play, Osmani Nagar have also got a history of 2 wins before them. They could win this. Bishwanath subdued them, went 1 goal ahead, Sadiq scores, and then Khalis changed formation. They just locked up shop, and then they've won their fourth. They've won their fourth. Again, it just goes to show that they did not just rely on just playing pacey football and open football. They did what was necessary to secure the trophy. On this basis, what we've learned from our guests here today, if you're a celebrated entrepreneur, it is not sufficient for you to sit on your hands, or should we say, it is not sufficient for you to sit on your bank balance and your millions, because one day you will have to leave this all behind. And what greater way than to have a legacy where you've invested this money to not only develop your community, your family, your youngsters, but also leave behind a legacy where people will remember you and will pray for you and speak positively of you for generations to come. Number 2, we took the example of Anfor Ali, for example, that you can wear many hats. You can become exhausted and overburdened by all the responsibilities that you have. But as long as you've got passion and enthusiasm, then you can continue to contribute again and again to the betterment of our society and be fired and enthused by that going forward. And lastly, by Akhtar, who is one of the examples that we used right at the beginning, when we were talking about the over 50s and how he's still running around like a spring chicken. He's also climbed all the mountains here as well. He could be mistaken for somebody easily for probably 1/3 his age as well. But again, another example, I told you we learned something at least from each guest, is it doesn't matter what your age is. The most important thing for us is to keep moving and to keep moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hope you had as much pleasure as I did entertaining my guests here today. I'm your host, Emdad Rahman, and thanks for watching The Sports Show.